show about you. A show where your questions, comments, and concerns are aired for all to hear. You have an opinion, and we want to hear it. Hosts Mike and Jenn have worked together over 3 years and will provide the best intuitive information they have. This show has no limits. This show has no boundaries. This show has no agenda. Now, your host of No Agenda, Mike and Jenn.
Sitting there grooving to that music. That's pretty good.
I know. Well, it was nice to have it this week, wasn't it?
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to No Agenda on WLTK. It's a miracle. We're back for a second week. We have not been ejected yet. I guess that's a plus, right? We got to start on a plus.
That is a plus. That is a plus. And we got people watching. So there's another plus.
There's another plus.
We got Keith Fletcher. Looks like Keith at Westerland and Joanna's on there.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Morning. Sarah, Sherry, Tammy. I see you all there.
Good morning and good afternoon, good evening. So today we have a topic. And last week after our first show, I had the idea of putting something up on my Facebook page to solicit ideas for episodes. Because again, we want to focus on you guys out there. And we like to talk about topics that you want to hear about. So there was a lot of good information, a lot of good topics, and I'm going to keep that page up or that post. And I would love it if you guys would just continue to add to it, because we will go through them and we'll just pick topics each week from that. So today's topic is children and their imaginary friends. And I'll say right now, I'm not an expert on the subject. I've had experiences secondhand through other people's stories and also through readings where family members, loved ones have come through and validated that things that are going on, during the night on the nanny cams are actually, family coming through. Before I jump into my experiences, hello, Jenn.
Hi, Michael. Hello, everybody out there. So I'm just laughing. Sharon's on. She says that we switched sides. I didn't notice that until now, but we did.
Oh, it is weird.
I'm not sure how.
Now my OCD is going to be just hanging. Oh, well.
And I just wanted to say hello to everybody that's watching. And as always, we appreciate you. I can see all of you on there. It looks like we've got comments coming in from YouTube. So we are seeing those because we had questions about that last week, but we are seeing you all there. Yes. Tammy, Michelle, Christy, Natasha. Again, it's morning for me. So good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is where you are.
A noon +4 right here in Central.
Right. So, Michael, did you ever have an imaginary friend?
I hit my head a lot as a kid, so I don't really have too many childhood memories. I probably did. I just, I'm old now, so I don't recall any. But this is one that was playing in my mind yesterday while I was thinking about, our topic. So my brother Jason, who passed in 97 at 26, he makes his rounds. And actually my sister and her son, I remember her telling me a story about him. One day he had his cars all placed out on the living room floor, playing. He was, I think, probably 3 or 4 at the time. And my sister said it appeared that, he was playing with somebody. He was talking to somebody. So she asked him, what's going on? Who you talking with? And I can't remember if she said, if he said his name, but he said the boy playing, the boy playing with my cars. And I think that's when my sister prompted him or asked him, who is it? And he either said the name Jason or she showed him a picture of either Jason or Danny because they're both passed. And I think he pointed to Jason and said, "This is him." So it was like, wow,
Yeah, he
and
just
of
knew.
course, yeah. And of course she calls me and, was telling me about the story. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about it before, but children up until the age of about 7, they haven't been told that, spirit doesn't exist. That's their normal, thing. They see spirit. So until they reach that age where they go to school and they start having to blend in and become, normal, they have that ability. And I'll share more, but I don't want to take up all of this. If you have something there, Jen.
Well, I will tell you a story about an imaginary friend. Not one of mine, but one of my sons. So it's interesting that you would talk about your brothers, because this has to do with my brother as well. He died when my son was very, very young, under 1 year old. But he did have this thing where he would put him on his shoulders and they would play basketball, run around, play basketball. He would sit, my brother rode a motorcycle, and so he would sit him on the front of the motorcycle. And my brother died. My son was just months old, actually. So maybe 6 months old. Anyway, when my son turned about 3, when he could really talk and kind of had a vocabulary,
Mhm.
coming to me in the morning telling me how much fun he had had at night with his friend. And I was like, well, what friend? What did you do? And he said, oh, we played basketball. He put me on his shoulders and he put me on his bike, and just these instant chills, because like I knew. And he kept him around as a friend for quite a long time, and would wake up in the morning couldn't wait to tell me like about his adventures. And he would
Mhm.
just talk to him, throughout the day. So that's my experience with it, which I think is super cool.
It is. So my wife Sheila did home daycare for 20 years. And, when this all kicked off for me around 2015, I mean, we had known about mediums for years and read books and stuff like that. But around the time that this started happening, really, for me, Sheila began telling me, experiences she had with the daycare kids. And 2 of them stand out. So one of them, she was getting ready, the kids are getting ready for their afternoon naps. And one of them pointed over towards the laundry room, and there was a curtain up that divided the laundry room from the main room. And she said, "There's a hand waving." And Sheila got, immediately chills and looked over her shoulder and, oh, okay. That was one. And then this one was really curious. And I believe in past lives. I believe that we live more than one life. We live many lives. But one of the little girls, I think she was probably about 5, she said, "Next time I'm coming back as a boy. I really wanted to be a boy this time, but, this time I'm a girl, but next time I want to be a boy." And it was just like, whoa, where does this stuff come from?
Yeah.
So interesting stuff. So what about you out there? Anybody have a story they would like to share? Because
I did see one comment that kind of made me giggle. Joanna says she did have an imaginary friend, but it was Fonzie from Happy Days. So she says, I don't think it counts. My mom had to put a plate at the table for him to eat. So I had this thing of inanimate objects, they having feelings. I would assign them feelings, personality traits, and I would talk to them as if they were people, especially stuffed animals. So I guess that's maybe an imaginary friend in a way.
Yeah. I remember, I'll share one because one just popped up too. When me and my brother Russ, we're about 1.5 years apart. He's younger, and we were probably about 5 or 6. And I remember my great uncle Richie had just passed, recently at that time. And I remember waking up and Russell just come back in the room. It was like 1 or 2 in the morning. I mean, it was, I don't know exactly, but it was in the middle of the night. And I was like, I still remember to this day, I was like, what were you doing? He goes, "It's out in the living room. Uncle Richie's sitting in the chair out there." And I was like, "What?" you know,
Wow.
it was just like, so it was just, even at that time, it kind of freaked me out. But then I thought, well, that's just my brother being my brother. So I didn't pay much attention to it. But now, obviously, looking back, yeah,
Right.
definitely. Tanya, I had an imaginary friend as a child. I also saw a Black Panther around me. The Panther scared me a little bit at night. Yeah. I don't know why I just had this image of that Geico commercial where they had the Black Panther sitting up on the nightstand and the couple that doesn't sleep now because there's a Black Panther sitting there watching them throughout the night. I don't know.
Hi, Jeanette. So Cami Jo, she said her son is 7 and he has imaginary friends.
Yeah. And, again, I don't think every friend's imaginary, but
Right.
I got to go with believing that a lot of these experiences are family and friends coming around.
So most of the phone calls or most of the contacts that reach out to me for something in their home or being afraid have to do with smaller children and having imaginary friends and talking to somebody that's not there and telling them stories. And that kind of scares the parents. So then they're calling me to see what's going on in my house. And I would say that 99% of those, when I actually can go in and sit down with them, really it's relatives that they're seeing, and we're able to validate that.
Yeah.
So I'm 100%, I know that kids are way more open. They can sense and see, and they don't filter it. They just go with it.
No, and I've had this thought recently too. If we could have that mindset when we're doing readings, because ask any medium, we're constantly battling the ego and trying to stay out of our head and trying not to analyze and evaluate everything we're getting. And it's like, wow, if we could have children teach us how to be mediums, we'd probably be all like, next level experts in no time, because
Right.
it's literally, again, you said it, no filter. Or, I've had friends of mine that have gone in for surgery, and when they're either going under, probably more or less when they're coming out of it, the filter's off, they're drugged up, and they start passing messages to the nursing staff or the doctors walking through. So again, the no filter thing.
Cami Jo, I'm looking at your comment about your son. He talks to his stuffed animals like they are real. He has to tuck them in at night. He has to make sure they are okay if we leave them home, and he can't bring them with. Okay, 100% what I was just talking about with myself. I remember that. I remember tucking them in at night, making sure, like being really anxious to leave them. And, I would set them in their places. I would call them all by name. I would tell them all goodbye. I put all of their names in my prayers at night. So I understand that 100%. Let's see. I see Chelsea there and Tammy.
I was reading Keith's. He remembers he saw a picture eyes moved. Oh my God. Yeah, that would freak me out. Looking at a picture and then seeing some, the eyeballs.
That would freak me out too. Me too.
But yeah, I guess one more thing about this before maybe we move on. But yeah, I've done just very few, investigations, probably a handful. And I think this was probably the first or second. And this just validates again that it's most of the time it's family. But so our local investigation team, who I tried to be a part of but at the time I was still working. So it was really hard for me to meet up with them, as often as I wanted to. But the one that I managed to go on, it was a family that were having these experiences. Their one younger child was seeing like a white mist in the basement and just other things going on. And I'll keep it short, but I don't think I knew anything really about what was going on before I went in, but I was immediately just drawn to the basement. So I went down there, and I was pulled to this one corner of the basement, and that's what I started picking up on. I'm like, I just feel like there's something being seen like in this corner, and I think I actually said the words, white mist. And the mom was like, yeah, that's where my daughter sees this entity or whatever they thought it was at the time. And we did a little bit more, and then we start going upstairs just to talk. So as soon as we get upstairs and we're just in the kitchen talking, I immediately felt the presence of this younger child, and I felt it was a female. I felt that she was 3 years old when she passed, and it was her daughter. I didn't know that at the time. I was just like, I feel this 3-year-old. She's being, she's communicating with me that the mom was holding her in her arms when she passed. The mom had to make the decision to take her off of life support, which I couldn't imagine. And the mom, it still hadn't clicked with her that it was her daughter. And then the daughter mentioned a heart tattoo on her leg. And as soon as I mentioned that, the pieces all fell in place. And the mom she almost collapsed. She's like, oh my God, that was my daughter. And she started expanding the story a bit. But as I just was communicating more with the daughter, she pretty much validated that she was the white mist in the basement and just other things. But she just, right then and there, just validated that it was her, and she's there and she watches over her siblings. And, so again, in my brief experience there, plus in readings, most of the time it's family.
It is. And just like that, you're able to tap into that energy and validate it. I'm just laughing at Tanya's comment because she says she did that with her toys too. And she also felt bad if she played with more than one more than another. It's true. I remember that.
The toys get jealous.
Tanya. They have to have like equal attention. And I get it. I know exactly. Exactly. Michael can't relate, but I can.
Okay. It was probably the same just with Matchbox cars or something like that.
Yeah. I'm looking at Sarah's comment here.
Which one's hers?
Keep scrolling. It's about a bear, but I'm having a hard time. Let's see. It keeps going up as I'm trying to read it. When my son was 2, he would tell me that the bear was going to eat him. He started to not sleep as well after that. Then he went to his dad's and his stepmom called me home alone with him and scared, telling her she needs to come and shoot the bear. So I'm just trying to read this. Pulled me to his room. Oh, well, I don't know where the rest of it is. We believe that he got, and then I can't read the rest. Do you see that comment there?
I do. Mike? Now I do. I wonder if it cuts off at a certain point.
It must.
Only
it
so
must.
many characters.
I got through all that, and then I didn't get to the question.
Hopefully she'll put the rest up because now we're in suspense.
Yes. Now I want to know.
But yeah, I guess, there really isn't much more to talk about with that. It's, most of the time, again, it's family, friends.
Yes. And spirit guides could also be a spirit guide.
Yep.
I know that from my experience. I have always had this, I wouldn't really call it an imaginary friend, but this presence around me that I would talk to when I was young, have just always felt it and didn't really understand until just a couple of years ago that was actually a spirit guide. So there's that.
I didn't get to know mine till I was 45-ish because I was stubborn and didn't believe or wouldn't trust.
Well, I didn't recognize it for what it was, what it was.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
All righty. All right. So now we're going to shift over to you guys again. So we're going to do some readings and we're up for any kind of chat, any other questions that you want to post. Let's have a conversation. But we'll start doing readings. So if you have a question,
pop it in
put
there.
it in the comments. If you just want a general, that's fine too. If anybody steps forward for us, we will definitely jump in on that.
Let's see, who is that? Ooh, a lot of generals today. Nobody has a specific question.
You're going to leave it up to us. Okay.
Careful what you wish for, right?
So if you haven't had at least an intuitive reading for me, I'm very direct, very, I'm going to give you what I get, what I feel. So basically how it works for me, because I like to talk about the process because again, I talked about my experiences early on watching John Edward, and I didn't know the process. And it was just like, so I thought I knew, but I didn't, how this went. So for me, when I'm doing a guidance reading like this, so basically what I'm doing is I'm connecting to your energy first. So just like in spirit, your energy is the same as those in spirit, except you have a physical body. So when I connect with your energy, I basically just ask your higher self, your guides, what does this person need to know in this movement to help them? And then from there, I just become aware of thoughts. And again, the tricky part for anybody who does this work is not getting your mind in there and trying to understand where those thoughts are coming from, what they mean. It's just about sending it to you. And that's the process for me anyway. I don't know. How does it work for you, Jen?
About the same. Exactly. Exactly the same. Sometimes when I tune in, I end up not even pulling a card really. Because a lot of that information just comes in, but that's what it is. It's just receiving impressions through one of those clairs, and my dominant ones are like the seeing, the knowing, and the feeling. I can hear sometimes, but that's how it comes in. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to scroll back here.
I'm scrolling too, and I got to keep in mind that this becomes a podcast later. So
I know
I will read the questions too, because if people are going back later, they're like, we're saying, I'm going to read this comment, and then they get silence. So I'm going to try to keep that in mind, because I will read the question. Let's see. Who do you feel drawn to, Jen?
Well, I'm looking at Kim Kuntz has a question. Can spirit guides be past relatives? Daughter found out she was pregnant the day my dad died. Always feel dad is around my grandson. When he was around 2, he pointed to my dad's picture and said, Papa. No idea how he knew who the picture was of. So I'll tell you how I feel. I'll tell you how I feel about this. I believe we have spirit guides that are assigned to us before we're even born, like into this world, and they are with us through our entire lives. And then I believe that we have, I guess I would call them situational spirit guides. They are our family and our, those that were close to us that surround us and guide us maybe through certain circumstances, through certain times in our life. So yes, the answer is yes. Spirit guides can be past relatives. However, I do feel that there is a difference between those spirit guides and those that are assigned to us and that stay with us through multiple lives. I don't know. How do you think, Michael?
I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to say ditto.
Okay.
Because I feel exactly, based on what I've researched, I'm trying to recall if I've ever had that experience come through in a reading where someone has, said, I am their guide. But I feel exactly the same way. I feel that there are, friends, family, or I should say this in a different way. So my belief is we're part of soul groups on the other side. Think of it as a family on the other side. And within that soul group, we have people that we're connected to, have always been connected with, that agree to come in and watch over us. So like Jen said, I do believe that they take that task on. And I did have a past life regression that's just popped in several years ago, and that was validated during one of mine. So it was just a very interesting thing that, I experienced, firsthand. I wish I still had the recording. I'll have to see if I have it somewhere. But yes, so I believe that friends, family that we've known from this life that have passed, yes, they're around us. They can help us. They can guide us. But in the traditional sense of a guide, I believe it's the ones that agree before we come into this life to watch over us. That was a long ramble to just saying ditto. Again, I'm Italian and I have to talk. And my hands are flying all over the place if you can't see them. And I'm trying to be very conscious of that because it's a terrible habit of mine.
I know. See, I've been down here too. I see Cami Joe's comment that I want to, I pulled a card for her, but I want to address that. Cami Joe writing, I'm hoping to maybe hear from my mama today to see if she possibly has any messages for me as my family is in some heavy turmoil between all of us, which is making us not talk to one another right now. So it's interesting because I did pull the 9 of Wands card and I want to talk to you about that. But first, I just kind of want to tell you what I actually want to ask you a question. Does this turmoil have to do, I feel like this turmoil has to do something actually around her passing. Can you just validate that for me? And while you're doing that, I pulled the 9 of Wands card, which actually is about ongoing battle, of being weary, fatigued, drained of energy. However, I do see a yes right here. I feel like that this is, it doesn't. Okay. I do feel like whatever this is, it's going to come, there's going to be some closure to it, but I do think that it's going to take some time. I feel like it's going to take some time. But I also feel like I want to tell you to stand firm, and you can do that in a very, very loving way. But I feel like maybe there's some pressure somewhere, and stand firm to what feels right for you. Okay. And I'm going to leave that with you.
And Cami, the only thing I want to add to that, because what I'm feeling, I actually wrote it down too, was something to do with property. So this can be, real estate or possessions. That's what I'm drawn to. So I don't know if that's what this is centered around, but that's what I'm feeling. I'm just going to see if I feel anything from your mom. Cami, would she have passed early? And what I mean by that is I'm seeing between mid 40s to 50s. I just feel like a young passing, or what we would consider young passing. Okay. Okay, so a little bit older than I was thinking or feeling. I don't know. I just keep seeing property. So I don't know if that's with you, but I just keep seeing the argument around property or possessions. And Cami, also what I'm feeling too, I'm feeling cancer connected to your mom. Did your mom pass of cancer? Because I do have a woman with me right now that I'm feeling that it was breast cancer. I'm feeling breast cancer around this woman. At least that's what I'm being shown. And I'm feeling almost like stage 3. I don't know if in my awareness, I'm seeing stage 3 cancer, but it had quickly progressed. So I don't know if that connects with you, Cami. Okay, so she had cancer, fought it, and then caught COVID, which ended up taking. Okay. Let me I want to spend just a minute or two with her and just see what I can get for you. So what she's making me feel is like your personality is a lot like hers. I feel like she is the type of person that would not she had no problem speaking her mind to people. And she's saying it's actually like a double-edged sword for you, because what I'm feeling is for this situation, at least what she's making me feel, is to go for you outside the norm or stay away from the norm, which means to kind of step back from it. Also, I got to feel, are you the artist or is this connected to your mom? Because I see somebody who paints. So I'm seeing something with painting, because I feel this. Okay, good. So that's just her then validating that you're making the right decision by kind of staying out of it and away from it. Let me just see, Cammie, if she has a message besides that for you. And then I want to move on. Did somebody knock over a vase? Because she keeps showing me a vase in my awareness. So there's something with this vase that she's trying to get across. I don't know if this is, I'm trying to feel into it more. Was it her remains in this urn, I guess? Because now it's shifted into an urn. But she's highlighting this vase in my awareness. And readings over Facebook Lives or any of these take forever.
So hard.
Okay.
And I see purple flowers with her. I've been seeing them for a minute, so I'm just going to put that out there as well. And I don't know, Cammie Jo, if that has any significance to you, but it's almost, as I'm sitting here, I can almost like just smell lilacs. And you know what? Maybe that's really just from outside my door. I don't know. But I can see the purple flowers and I can smell them. So I'm just going to leave that with you.
All right, so we'll move on. But yeah, I think she just validated that you're making the right choice by just kind of stepping back from all the drama. She showed me this vase again. So I'm just going to leave that with you, but she's, and I'm trying to get her to expound on this vase. I don't know if it connects, message me later. I'm sorry, but she keeps showing me this vase. I'm trying to be articulate. All right.
Oh, good, Chelsea.
Let's go back through the comments here. There was one I saw that I wanted to pull. All right, I gotta go back to this because this may be another woman that's here, but I am feeling a woman that passes mid-40s, so 45 to 50, and she's showing me breast cancer. Again, I'm seeing stage 3 that quickly progressed into stage 4 and then caused her passing. So if anybody can connect with that, just please let me know in the comments. So this may have been somebody who was standing by Cammie's mom at the same time, but I'm seeing the art reference again. So, and if you can connect with the art and a vase, please let me know. And a vase has to be something significant. That's why they're bringing it up. So if you can connect with those 4 things, just please go ahead and put it in the comments and I'll try to connect. But I'm definitely feeling this woman here.
Okay, so Chelsea is saying my aunt was in her 40s and passed of breast cancer. It was really fast. Do you understand the vase, Chelsea? Or painting?
Okay, is that Chelsea's comments there? Because I could always see it. Okay, so she's saying, I did a painting of her for my grandmother as a gift, and she was cremated, and her husband has her urn. Okay, let me just see. So this is your aunt. Okay.
Chelsea is there a birthday or like her anniversary of her day of passing or something that's right around this time frame? Feeling like she just wants to acknowledge a day that's right
Because I'm seeing graduation too. I'm seeing like a graduation.
Her birthday is June 6th. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Because I'm just like, she's just saying like, okay, thank you.
So I'm feeling like either this would be what's the equivalent of a grandchild for an aunt? I'm sorry, but I feel like she's acknowledging somebody's graduation. Sometimes it helps when I see the person's face. So I know Casey, but great niece. Okay, great niece. All right, we'll just move on because it does take a long time. We'll have to pull.
Okay, so I know what you're seeing there, Michael.
Okay.
I know what you're seeing. And in all transparency, so I do know Chelsea, but just as soon as you're talking about a graduation, something else just popped into me. Her daughter just received an award at school for being like, I think it was the most kind or nicest child. And so the way that I'm seeing it is just like like a presentation.
Okay.
And so if that's what she's referencing, which is what is coming into my awareness, just know that she was there. Just know that she is aware of that. And she actually does look at your children as her children in a way. It's like she's got this a lot of closeness with them. And so just know that she is around there. Just know that she is very, very proud of them, very, very proud of you. And the way that you're raising them. She tells me that you're questioning yourself on that sometimes, as we all do. But I really just feel like she's saying that you're questioning something about that. And she always called my children hers. Okay, because that's how she's making me feel. And she just says, stop beating up on yourself as a mother, Chelsea. Like you're doing great. Okay. And she's very, very proud of you. And I know that sounds generic, but really, as Michael's talking about this graduation, I just see the little ones. So I'm just going to leave that with you from her. And again, this is so weird. So I know I was talking about purple flowers earlier, but I see them again. So maybe that is in connection with this. They're just like stuck here. So I'm just going to leave that with you and much love to you. Okay, so she understands the purple flowers as well, because I'm like, they're not going anywhere.
All right. Okay. Going back, let's see here.
Oh, you did purple flowers for her celebration of life. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Perfect.
All righty. Let's see here.
I've got a question. Do we have anybody out there that's willing to come up on screen with us and talk? What do you think, Michael?
Yes.
Anybody has a question? Anyone's willing? Todd, he can pop a link in there for us. It will make this so much smoother.
Yes. And you can't be camera shy. Who just said yes? I just see Facebook user.
Jennifer Valentine. Okay, so Todd just popped a link in there. It says if you'd like to come backstage for a reading, click here. So Jennifer, if you can click on that link, that'll pop you up here with us. I think that'll just, it's kind of hard sometimes reading the comments and keeping up with them.
And we'll just see what happens. We'll pull somebody up. Yeah. We'll see if we can get a reading for you. It's live.
Let's do it.
You know, can't promise anything, but
hello, Rhonda. Okay. Rhonda, see your name on there, and I pulled this card out, Creative Expression. It's talking about following your heart, taking action, and just being creative. I feel like it's really encouraging you to go for your passion. And for some reason with you, I feel it's interesting because Michael was just talking about painting, but painting, drawing, and writing. It's with your hand, very artistic is what I'm seeing. And so this card is just saying like, follow your heart and go for it. Start writing some things down. Start painting some things. Start being creative. So I'm going to leave that with you.
Keith's backstage.
Oh, we do have someone backstage?
Yep, Keith.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Hello, Keith.
Hi. How are you guys?
How you
Hi,
doing?
Keith.
Good.
You have a question for us?
Yeah, I do actually. It's about I'm trying to do a house and trying to get some finances together and stuff, but I'm not seeing it, and I just know that I'm seeing it in the future, but I don't know how far in the future it is.
You just feel into this because as soon as you started talking about it, I'm immediately pulled to November, and I feel that's probably way beyond what you were hoping for. But I see November like closing, so that would be like a closing. The beginning of November is a date I'm being pulled towards. Not a banker or any of that good stuff, but I see something about waiting to August to start the process because there's something about interest rates being lower in August. So that's just what I'm feeling. I got to say this, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but if I just feel like partnering with somebody is not such a great idea. So I don't know if you're thinking about partnering with somebody for this.
I was, yeah.
I just feel that, is this a friend? I just feel friend, but I just got to say that I feel that I feel better about this going alone. That's the gut feeling I get about this, is doing it on your own, because with any partnership, it's going to cause friction.
Correct. And I know where you're going with this, yes. It actually was my sister that I was thinking of doing this with. She's a very good friend of mine. I love her right to death, but I know exactly where you're going with that.
Okay. So that is exactly what I feel. And Jen, if you want to, I'm going to pull a card to see if it'll validate that for me, but that was just what I felt just by reading your energy.
No, like on that question, I got nothing. I was just listening to Michael, but for some reason, are you a chef?
I actually have a culinary arts degree, yes, but I'm not.
All I'm seeing with you is chef and cooking. And as you're talking about getting money and getting finances, that comes into my head as an opportunity for you. So like, even if you do it on the side, because I'm just seeing you cooking and you're very, very good at it. Like, it's a passion of yours. And as you talk about creating finances, and maybe this is where, if you are looking at a partner for finances, I'm just thinking that you're so talented with the cooking and being a chef and it's a passion of yours, that you really put love and all sorts of things into your cooking, that it could be something that could bring you some additional financing for what you're going for. Like, I just have to put that in there because all I'm seeing is you cooking.
I have an associate's degree in cooking. My
Awesome.
passion, believe it or not, is actually to be a spiritual person, because that's what I've been studying mostly with. So, and it's funny that you mentioned that, because there's a place downtown where I live that I've actually thought about maybe going to investigate to open up to become more financially stable and stuff too.
I love it. So I'm just going to tell you this. I'm just going to tell you that I'm seeing that I'm being just really pushed. It was weird. It wasn't part of your question, but really pushed to talk to you about this cooking and this passion. And I feel like you can I'm being told that you could put your own little spin on this, and that it's going to be really different and really cool and really amazing. So I'm just going to encourage you to go for it. Just go for it. Like, that's what I'm hearing. So I want to leave that with you. Let my
one more thing, and I'll move on. But I have a female stepping forward for you. I feel this is grandmother, but I'm feeling like she was more of a mom than a grandmother. So I don't know.
Yeah, that makes totally sense.
And when we were talking, or you were talking about cooking, she was like raising her hand, like she was an influence on that. I don't know if you can validate that. And you can be completely honest with me if I'm full of baloney. Just say
that's why cooking is so strong.
No, that is totally is. I always cooked for my grandmother. I loved her cooking. She loved mine. So totally 100% accurate with that. The other thing is, this will actually make a lot more sense to her and to you guys too, is ask her about the vacuum cleaner.
I don't know what she'll say about that, but hold on, because she was right when you were talking, she was communicating something with me. I'm just going to get her to say that again. So hold on. Where did it go? It was something pretty humorous too, but I don't know, Jen, if you can get the vacuum, I don't know, but she was. Let me just feel into this. I know this is taking a little bit longer than I wanted, but let me just see, because she had something. Okay, so she's making me feel like she wants to acknowledge like you leaving like the status quo or what people expected of you to go your own way, because she's like patting on your back for like, you just seem like I'm feeling this about you, and she's making me feel the same, that you're very traditional as far as you had a plan, like this is where I'm going in life, this is what I want to do, and all of a sudden I just feel like something either occurred, but something just made you take that other path and like straight away from being in the norm, if you will. Does that make sense at all to you?
150%, because the norm is follow my dreams, get this done, get that done. Here I am. I totally went to being a spiritual person, having my crystals around me, doing this, and that is not the norm in my family.
Okay, because she's like patting you on your back, and she's making me feel like her personality was similar. Like she didn't do what people expected of her. And she's also making me feel like in her era, if you will, her time, like I just feel like she bucked the norm, if you will. I don't know if that makes sense to you at all.
It does. She was a April birthday person. She said what she had to say and moved on. If you didn't like it, that sucks to be you. Excuse my French.
No, that's cool. So,
and to answer with the vacuum cleaner is because for many, many years, I have been looking for a vacuum cleaner that I used at her house. I loved it very much so. And I just got one, and out of the blue, I would have never saw it, but I had the feeling, go look here, go look here, go look
was
here.
it in a garage? I just see a garage. I don't know.
Well, one of them was in the garage, one of them was in our house.
Okay.
Is the vacuum itself blue?
Yes.
She's showing me the vacuum as you talk about that. So I'm just going to leave that with you. She's definitely like with you, surrounding you, just and very, very proud of you.
Well, thank you guys very much.
You're
And Michael, it's finally nice to meet you. I've seen you on Transaction with Debbie and stuff. So
nice to meet you too, face to face. It's nice to be able to talk with somebody instead of just reading the comments. So thank you for braving the opportunity to come on here. We appreciate,
oh, no problem. Anytime.
All right. Well, have a great day, Keith.
Bye-bye. That was so much easier.
I know. It just gets the energy up too.
It does. Really does. It just flows so much better. So Jennifer says she's clicked StreamYard, or she's trying. Okay, I'm going to.
Crystal is backstage.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Crystal.
Or she was.
Uh-oh, she dropped out.
Oh, man. Okay.
Todd, I'll just say this, Todd. Whoever you want to throw up there for us, we're good with. You can just let them in one at a time, and we'll just roll with it.
I'm going to take a quick break while we are rolling with it. So I'll be right back.
Are you going to leave me to read by myself? Oh,
yes.
My goodness.
I'll be right back.
So Jen's going to leave me here by myself. All right, Crystal's back.
Hello.
Crystal, hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was trying to see. I don't know why my camera is not working. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. I just want to see about a relationship. I was married. Oh, okay. I was married to my ex for 5 years.
Actually, Crystal, your phone's kind of like it's kind of like going in and out. Like I can hear like every other word. It is, but it's like there's a lot of interference in the background. But I'll give it a try. We'll at least give it a try and see if we can get a question.
Oh Lord, I'm sorry. I was trying to. Okay, I was trying to see. Do you see me reconnecting with him? His name is Johnny, but he been coming up in my dreams a lot lately, and he married a girl maybe a couple weeks ago, but he been in my dreams saying that he made a mistake. So I just want to see what he would pick up.
I'm sorry, Crystal. It's just there's so much interference. I'm just hearing like it's wavering in or out. I just heard something about dreams, but I can't hear it
Do
clearly.
you think I might need to type it in the chat?
I don't know, Jen, can you hear it clearly?
No, I caught something about somebody coming into her dreams, but I couldn't understand the rest of it.
Yep. Sorry about that, Crystal. It was just too hard to hear. So we'll see who else pops up.
Let's see. Who was that? Crystal. What was their last name? Do you remember?
I don't no more yet.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to see if she had a comment.
You know what? I'm going to take a break real quick too.
Now you're going to leave me alone?
I'll be right back before the next person comes on.
Okay.
I promise.
All right. So Courtney's saying it is the headphones usually making all of that noise. So I don't know, Crystal. I didn't get to catch your entire question, but I just heard something about somebody coming into your dreams repeatedly. I wish I knew what the question was, but I do want to tell you that our loved ones can visit us through dreams. And generally, one of the ways that we know that it is our loved ones in our dreams is that they're very, very vivid. We can remember it, and it leaves us feeling just like very loved. It just leaves us in a really good place. Of course, sometimes there's a little bit of that sadness, right? That they came and visited and left, but it won't leave you feeling uneasy or anything like that. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but gives me something to talk about while Michael's not here. Okay, so any more questions? Anybody want to pop up and talk to us?
I'm back.
Yay.
What'd I miss?
Oh, I was just talking about, I was just talking to Crystal about loved ones coming in our dreams, even though I didn't quite understand her question. Just wanted to let her know that it's definitely possible.
All righty. So let's see what we got here.
Can we pull some cards while we're waiting? See if
Yes.
anybody's popping up. Okay.
Yep.
Um,
You want to go to V?
Go where? Oh,
V
to V.
Hernandez.
Okay.
So everybody trying to join, you have to be on Chrome or Firefox browsers to join. That's the dealio.
Teresa, funny, I was just headed to you after Michael's done with V, so hang in there.
So V, for you, I pulled the King of Cups. So let me just feel into this for a minute. So V, what I'm feeling is somebody coming into your life that's stable. So if this is a relationship that's been on the rocks or whatever, but I'm just feeling that it's going to be more stable. I don't know. I just feel this is more of somebody coming into your life rather than somebody that's in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a love connection, but I just feel somebody coming into your life that understands you more clearly and supports you in your ventures moving forward. I just feel like this emotionally stable person is going to enter your life and kind of help you get clarity. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's just what I'm feeling around you. Let me just see if I feel anything else, though. I don't know if that makes any sense for you, V. I can wait for you to comment. I don't know, because as I feel into it, I just feel like there's been this instability around you. Like I mean, you may have friends, you may have family, but I feel like, I don't know, there's something like missing, not like a connection where somebody understands you completely. That's where I feel this person is maybe coming into your life. So that's just what I'm feeling. And again, when you just get general, that's kind of where we go, and that's what I was pulled.
Okay. Teresa, I was going to pull a card for her, and I did. So it's the Ace of Wands. It talks about new beginnings, good news, new things on the horizon. I don't know. Are you thinking about starting a second business or starting something like a hobby, something on the side? Like, I'm feeling that there's new beginnings, but it's with something creative, and it's something with you. Now, you had mentioned something about your grandma, and I want to tell you that just like 2 images that popped into my mind really, really quick as soon as I read that comment. Well, one was actually like a smell, which is weird because today I was just saying I barely get smells, so here they come, right? Just because I said it. But it's this smell of, you know, that smell of like freshly washed clothes that hang out on the clothesline. Like, I keep feeling that smell, and I see cherries. And so I'm curious if you understand either of those two things with your grandmother, especially the cherry. She's showing me those, like you will understand those. And we wait.
We have Joanna standing by backstage. So you're
Perfect.
done with this reading, and then we'll bring
Okay.
Joanna on.
Your grandma had cherry trees. Okay. All right. Because she just, like, these cherries are just like front and center. Okay. Did you have to, I know we've got somebody backstage, so I'm not going to take up a whole lot of time here. I'm just going to say this. You were talking about your grandma coming into your dreams a lot and that you miss her. She does come into your dreams. She is still around you. She's like your biggest cheerleader. And when I come to this, this new beginnings, just lean into that. Talk to her. Okay. And let her guide you. Let her guide you through some things that are going on. I do feel a shift in the energy on some things, though, to the positive side. And I'm going to leave that with you, okay? Okay. So we've got Joanna.
Yep, Joanna's backstage. Hello, Joanna.
It's nice to see you.
Joanna.
Thank you for braving this venture.
I was vacuuming my basement and I ran upstairs as soon as it was like, you can be on here. It's like, yes.
Oh, there we go. Another vacuum reference. What's going on with vacuums today? So what can we do for you today, Joanna? What are you curious about?
I have a question about my granddad. He died when I was 9 and it's been 35 years ago. And I used to see and feel him. We moved into a new house, our microwave would go off and I knew it was my granddad. Everyone would be in the living room and I don't feel him anymore. And I'm just wondering, as years go by, is it us that seem to, our memories get a bit hazier, or is he still around?
I will say this, and this is not me connecting right now, but I will say this. It's interesting because I feel the same like with my sister who passed in 2015. Who started all this for me. But those first few years were I could feel her around all the time. I mean, it was like she was there. Anytime I thought of her, it's like I could feel the energy. And I think as time moved on, it gets less and less. Not that she's not here. I mean, I know she's still around, but it's kind of like she doesn't have to make her presence so palpable, if you will. It's kind of like I just know she's there. So I will say this, that they're always around us. I mean, they're omnipresent. We may not feel them, physically, but and I keep feeling the sense of smelling smoke. So I don't know if it's something related to your grandfather with the smoke.
He smoked cigars.
Okay, because that's what I've been feeling ever since you come on with that. I'm also getting reference with him that he would have served in the military. So can you validate, was he in a military? I'm seeing service around him.
He actually didn't serve in the Second World War because he was sick. He had illnesses. But I think that him and my grandma, my grandma was in the RAFs as a
Okay.
cook.
Okay, because there's something military connection. So if that's it with your grandmother, but he's definitely highlighting a military reference.
No, I know what it is. He's named after his uncle who died in the World War One.
Okay.
Would you understand like a felt hat with him? This is strange because I don't even know what a bowler hat is, but that's like the name that's coming to me. Or would you understand that with him?
He, as far as I know, he never wore one, but I mean,
that's okay.
He could have when he was younger. I've never seen any pictures of him when he was younger either.
Okay.
So.
And he wants me to talk about a coin. So would you have a coin of his? And what I see is just, there's something about like silver coin that he wants to reference or highlight.
I know he used to eat toffees that look like coins.
I don't want to make it fit, but because he's definitely showing me a coin.
It actually could be a medal.
Nope. Again, I don't like to make anything fit. What I'm seeing is like, and I'm asking him to elaborate a little bit more. So Spirit will leave coins. And that's kind of what he's showing me is like leaving the coins. So if it's not for you, but it may make sense for somebody else in the family, but he's definitely highlighting the coins. And would you understand somebody to have an amputation? I'm seeing something about an arm. Is that connected to him or anybody in the family, an amputation?
Not that I know of.
Okay. I don't know. I'm asking him to elaborate. He's talking about an uncle, but he's talking about somebody that would have had an amputation. And that's okay. If it doesn't fit, that's fine. That's what he's bringing up. I'm trying to feel if he'll. So he's highlighting dad. So is this your dad's dad?
No, this is my mum's dad.
Okay.
I have a lot of relatives and close family members on the other side, so it could get fun for you guys.
Okay. Yeah. But as far as him, I just want to focus on him then. So he is the one that's with the cigar smoke for sure.
Yeah.
But I can't let go of the coin reference. So maybe it'll make sense later, but he's just highlighting the silver coin.
I'll have to call my uncle and see if he knows anything. It'll be interesting.
And I got to say this too. I there's something so significant about this because it feels like, I got to say what I'm seeing. So this would be a coin that was like, this would almost be like an archaeological find because I feel it's like a Roman coin. There's like something about, I'm seeing it clearly like a Romans, like I'm seeing the person with the wreath around their head. So there's something on there and it's not like a perfectly round coin. It's almost like they would find back in the day that were almost handmade. So I just got to share that whether it fits or not. That's what I'm being shown. So if for some reason that does make sense, please message because sometimes we're like, where does this come from? But I'm definitely being shown this. But just to validate, that is him with the smoke.
Definitely.
Yeah. So.
I always figured he might not come through since I'm originally from London, England, and now I live stateside. So I always wondered if they follow with me.
It doesn't matter.
So far away.
The physical location doesn't matter. They can be in multiple places at once. Do you have any connection to St. Louis for some reason? I just pulled to St. Louis and the St. Louis Arch is forefront in my mind. Does that connect with you at all?
I don't think so.
Okay. No worries then. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Coming on, Joanne.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, so I gotta wonder, Michael, if we're not linked in to somebody else, because a lot of what you were saying is kind of like connecting with what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing the gentleman with the felt hat, and for some reason, bowler hat comes to me, and I'm not even sure what that is. He also has like a cane or a walking stick. He's got something that he walks with. He says like a staff, like he's calling it a staff. But anyway, there's something about him with racehorses as well. So I'm not sure where he connects, but when you said St. Louis, it got like this little, that's where the connection is, I felt like. So I don't know. Let's wait and see.
So Jen, because somebody's messaging here in the comments, it's in private chat. That's where I'm seeing where Todd's got the people backstage. So you see how our comments, you can switch back and forth between private chat and comments.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Did you comment? I can't see backstage, but
let's see. Yeah. Todd is saying that, Jennifer, he's saying he doesn't see you backstage. Well, I didn't know you guys had a whole private chat going on the side now.
Yeah, you just click up above live chat and it has the private or comments.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
I can actually see
all right.
We're learning as we go.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I got to say, I'll just put it out there. So if anybody can connect with the gentleman that references an amputation, I'm seeing this as a left arm. Again, I was seeing like St. Louis. There was something about St. Louis connection with this person. And again, I'm seeing the military connection. So I'll just leave it at that. All right. Let's go pull some cards.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the comments here. Scroll up. I'm sorry, Jennifer. I don't know why it's not letting you click through. You shouldn't have to download or anything, but just like click on that link and it should let you go right in.
You have to be on Google Chrome or Firefox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Todd had put that earlier. Yeah.
There was a question here I wanted to ask. Why would we not get signs from a past loved one? Or I wanted to answer, not ask, but Shannon, sometimes I feel like we might be overlooking them and I don't know really. Here's the thing. I don't think that our loved ones go around leaving signs for us all of the time. It doesn't mean that they're still, it doesn't mean that they're not there. Sometimes they do leave signs for us. Have you asked? I want to ask you if you've actually asked, because actually asking sometimes really, really helps. Instead, you're just sitting there waiting and, watching and wondering. So I would encourage you and anybody that's wondering why they're not getting a sign to ask for one, and be specific, but also know that spirit's very, very, very subtle in how they leave signs. So for instance, maybe you will ask for some reason I'm hearing horse, and I don't know if horse has a connection with who you're asking for the sign from, but let's say that you're asking for a sign for a horse. A specific horse is coming to my mind, but you're asking to see a horse. That's like that, right? Maybe you see it in a picture. Maybe you see it in a figurine. But we can't bypass those as signs. So I think sometimes people are looking very, very literal, and sometimes spirit will deliver really big and really literal. But a lot of times it's a lot more subtle than that. Have anything to add to that, Michael?
No, I was just reading Stephanie's comment. My dad was stationed in St. Louis for a short time, used a cane at the end, and her uncle had racehorses, but no amputation.
Okay.
I don't feel that's connected to you though, Stephanie. I'm just feeling into it, and
That's so weird. It's kind of both of them.
Yeah, but I can't get away from this. The amputation. The amputation is very significant. Let's go back to the comments and questions. Jeanette's got an interesting one. Why is it that I can communicate with most spirits, but never my own families? Is this something that's in the early stages? No, that is so common, Jeanette. So the reason is, I'll break this down. So it's not that we can't. We absolutely can. The spirit's the spirit, and we have that connection. It's always there. The problem is being objective when it's somebody we know, because we have this thought in our mind that because it's family, we already know so much about this person that we question everything that comes through. So what I've used to get around that when I want a clear, definite answer is automatic writing. And for anybody that doesn't know what automatic writing is, it's literally taking out a pen and paper, asking the person that you want to connect with to step forward, and then ask a question. And then it's going to feel really strange, but you're going to put the pen down to the paper, and whatever comes to mind, you're just going to start writing it. Don't stop to worry about spelling, grammar, for me, because I can't do either. But punctuation, everything, you just write it out. Just write it. Just practice that, because again, that's just the easiest way I know to be objective when it's when we communicate with family or somebody that we really know. Teresa Warden. So was your grandfather though in the military? Because it's a military connection and the amputation. So it'd have to be both. And let me just see what else comes through. But I'll just see. I'm just kind of going through this or the comments. But I hope that answers your question, Jeanette.
And Teresa, would you understand that kind of hat that I'm talking about and maybe racehorses with him as well? I'm really curious where this guy fits in. I feel like he's part of yours, but I just... My grandpa's father was. Okay.
You're welcome, Jeanette. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that because it was way too scattered. And we have about 15 minutes left. So I think from here out, we'll just go through and just answer questions, like pull cards, because those are quick. So if you have a specific, it's got to be a quick question. It can't be really in depth, like full readings. For those, you can contact either Jennifer or I for a private session. But for here, it's just, we're going to try to just get through as many as we can. So
okay, let me just really answer Teresa really quick.
Yeah.
Is this the grandfather that would be married to the grandmother we just connected with the cherry trees and all of that? You just know that they both showed up for you today. Like, just know that. Like Michael said, we are running a little short on time, and it's really kind of a lot more difficult to do over the feed than it is if you pop up. So just know that they both came through for you today, okay? That they're just both surrounding you. They're both around you, and sending you their love. Something about Grandpa that just really quick, he's showing me a whiskey on the rocks. And I don't know if you understand that or not, but I'm going to leave that with you, okay? Horse put on. Okay, Shannon, there you go. There's that sign I was talking about. So it was a horse that you were asking for as a sign, and you just had a drum that you had a horse put on. There you go. That's what I was saying. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. So your person was directing me saying, look, don't overlook. It may not be literal. Don't overlook. So here's the thing. Not only is that a healing tool for you, your drum, right? But you're going to see that horse now all of the time, and you're going to understand, and you're going to know. So right there, that's a beautiful, beautiful sign. And I'm so happy that you recognize that, because that was just the message I was coming through for you. It's like, don't overlook. And that horse, very strong. So not only did you get that, you got your validation today. Okay. So I'm going to leave that with you.
Carrie Ann, sending prayers that everything turns out positive. Just sending her prayers.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Let's see, somebody who we haven't talked with yet. Let's pull a card for somebody. Have we pulled one for Courtney Lopez yet?
I don't believe so.
Courtney, do you have a question? I'll pull a card for you.
I'm going to switch decks. Feeling like switching decks. You're welcome, Carrie Ann.
I'm just going to go ahead, Courtney, with what I pulled for you. So it's the 5 of Cups, and it talks about loss. But what I feel is like the shedding of you today, and encouraging you to shift from these negative emotions, negative feelings, and getting out, because I feel isolation and loneliness. But I just feel it's like time to just kind of like put that aside and just focus on the future instead of staying in the past. I know it's general, but that's kind of what I'm feeling around you with this card.
So I drew one for Courtney as well that really goes along with that. This is a Phoenix card. This talks about like rising after the fall, rising out of the ashes.
Yep.
It's time. Like take that time and heal. But this is really saying like don't go back, don't go back in. Right. It's time for you to rise and fly. Like really, that's what it's saying. So just kind of validating Michael's card right there. Okay.
So Jen, I pulled one for Jennifer Valentin.
Okay. Because she couldn't get up.
Okay. I have the 5 of Swords for you. And what I'm feeling about this is walking away from a situation. And I feel like you got to get away from this self-sabotaging behavior is what I'm feeling with this. I don't know. I just feel fresh start, but I feel like, sorry, I'm putting it on you because that's what I'm being. It's like almost a direct, like, listen, some of this is your fault. I'm sorry to be blunt, but it's like time to stop with the self-sabotaging behavior. I just feel like whatever situation you're going through, it's just like some of the blame is on you, but you gotta, it's like, stop, put it behind you, and it's a fresh start moving forward and start looking at the positives going forward. I don't know. I just feel like you feel defeated at this time, but to me, I just feel like the turnaround for that it's a chance for a fresh start and focus on that.
So to follow Michael's card, the card that I drew is the sun, and it says paint the sun back into your sky. There's, this really, really dark background, and guess what? She is putting the sun back in. She's doing the work. She's climbing the ladder. She's painting it. She's putting it there. And so that just really just validates Michael's card. It's just about taking steps. It's about doing those things that really just do that just put the sun back into your sky. All right, who's next, Michael? We got 10 minutes.
10 minutes. All right, let's see. And we can answer questions too. So if you guys just have general questions.
I have a question for you, Michael.
All right.
Do you think that Bigfoot are some kids' imaginary friends? Somebody asked that. So I'm curious of your thoughts.
All right. I got to share something that just popped into my head. So several years ago, I had been asked over and over to do house clearings and that kind of work. And I told everybody at that point, no, until I find somebody who can teach me how to do it correctly, I am not touching that. And through a mutual friend, he taught it's called the Featherway, and it's from the Navajos. And one of the teachers that come through the spirit are the spirit of Bigfoot. And I didn't know this about Bigfoot, but you can apparently they have an odor. And I swear to God, when we're going through this training, I could feel this, whatever it was around me, and I got this smell. And I was like, what the heck is that? And he just validated that it's actually part of their training, that they work with the spirit of Bigfoot to help with their process of doing these clearings. And I was just like, mind blown. So I think everything is possible. Nothing is off the table, but that's what came to mind when you mentioned Bigfoot.
Okay, so I just have to say on that note, I had to go to Michael one day for a clearing for myself because I had done a reading that was like super disturbing. Like I couldn't get the images out of my mind, and I just couldn't get him out. And so I just went to Michael like, hey, help me. Like I got to get rid of whatever's going on here. Not an attachment. I just was carrying this heavy reading with me. So he did an energy healing. And I will never forget when he told me, okay, we're working with galactic and Sasquatch energies. I was like, okay, I'm going with it, Michael, because I feel really crappy right now. And he told me that. And so we went ahead and we did the healing and the clearing. And I felt so much better. Like I can't even tell. I could feel it working was the thing. You remember that, Michael? I could feel this energy that he had sent literally sucking me down into the ground. I could feel it pull on my feet like a funnel. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
I just got chills because I think they hear us talking about them. But I mean, if I wouldn't, again, I have so much respect for this person too. And he's so honest and so sincere. And, he teaches this this class to people that obviously want to do it for the right reasons, and again, I had been asked so many times to do it. I was like, okay, I finally found somebody that can teach me the right way, and, forever grateful. Kelly's here, Kelly Brickle. I want to pull a card for Kelly. Okay. Kelly has an amazing show on this station right here.
WLTK.
Hey, there he is right there. There he is right there watching over me.
And so I apologize to whoever asked that question because you're coming up as Facebook user. But while Michael's pulling that card, they're just asking if I smelled anything strange during that healing. I did not. I was so mesmerized by this feeling of just like being pushed. I felt like I was being pushed down and sucked through the earth by my feet. That's kind of all that I could really focus on.
Yep, it was.
Oh, Lee. Okay, thank you.
All right, so for Kelly, I'm just gonna go. I'm not even pulling a card because I gotta share what I'm feeling for you. So I just feel like you're heading into this expansion right now with your work. I just see this particular project that's either you're working on right now, but I just feel like there's this project, this event. I got to say what I'm feeling. It's almost like going to kick the doors wide open for you. I know you're successful. I know you're out there, but I just feel like there's something that's going to take place. And I'm being pulled towards August. There's a lot in the energy for August. I keep feeling August for several people that I've read for recently. So, but August is really significant, Kelly, for you. But I don't know if you can validate any of this. But I just feel it's like this hard work and time and training that you've put in for yourself. I don't know. I just feels like the momentum is about to really pick up for you. So I hope that helps. Yeah, I don't know, Jen, if you feel anything. Usually when one of us talk, the other one feels something.
I was zoning out. I apologize.
That's okay.
I was really zoning out on that one.
And I just pulled the Four of Wands for Kelly, and it's about teamwork, community spirit, success, and prosperity. So it kind of just validates what I was feeling.
I just have to say really quick, I have I know we've only got a few minutes, but I do have a young lady in my awareness. She is referencing a birthday I do feel like that this is her birthday. And I feel fairly young with her. I feel 16-ish. Wait just a second. I can't wait very long, so I'm probably just going to go ahead with this message, and hopefully it will resonate with somebody or somebody that will watch it later. So I do have this young lady in my awareness. She is referencing a birthday. I feel like her birthday is right around this like time frame. When I say that, it's like maybe this week, last week, or next week. It's just like really kind of close, right around here, referencing this birthday. I feel like an allergic, some kind of allergies with her, as well as seizures, is what she's telling me.
Can I just acknowledge something really quick, Kelly?
Yes.
So Kelly says, thank you. I'm working on an opportunity. I'm working right now around August, September. That's great, Kelly. I'm glad that made sense for you, because just like, the rest of us that do this work, sometimes you don't get those validations and you just think that you're dreaming this up or wherever, but wish you nothing but the best. Thank you for the validation.
Happy birthday to your mother, Ginger. So that wouldn't be the connection here, because this is a very young lady. She's like 15, 16, whatever. Allergy, seizures, that's what I'm feeling with her. So whoever this is for, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but just know she is acknowledging the birthday. She's acknowledging that it's going to be a tough day. She's going to be around, but she's also showing me cupcakes. I feel like that these are cupcakes that were purchased, that you may have already purchased for the birthday. She's just acknowledging those and letting you know that she's around. So I'm going to leave that with her love with you. And I'm just wrapping it up really quick because we're short on time. Otherwise, I'd go in a little bit more.
We got 2 minutes. I pulled a card for the collective, and this is like so significant in my mind. So this is from what deck am I using here? I got so many. Whispers of the Ocean. So I'll just show you real quick the picture of it, right? And on it says connect to source. So it's telling us all, and this is a great message for me as well, to go within to discover what needs to be done. Again, going for a reading, you kind of you have this feeling inside, you have that gut feeling about whatever situation you're dealing with, and then internal guidance will never lead you in the wrong direction. It just will not. So what we do as energy workers, psychics, mediums, we connect in with that energy, and we just give you validations of what you're already thinking. Sometimes we see the future. I can't say that I do all the time, but if that comes into my mind, it does, and I talk about it. But just remember, you have everything. You have everything you need right inside of you for the guidance. I know I'm trying to keep that quick, but connect to source, your higher self. You're an amazing person.
Absolutely. It's all right here.
So that's it. I think we're out of time. Again, thank you everybody for joining us today. We'll be back next Monday. We are going to continue to do the live reading. So, be ready. You never know if you're going to get pulled on. And I guess until next week, we will see you later.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.